I'm Annie Robert Thiessen, and we work as church planters and trainers among the unreached, especially the Mixtecs in southern Mexico and the states of Oaxaca and Guerrero.
The church planting aspect of what we do is to be in this community, both here in the Spanish-speaking area, but especially amongst the indigenous people, and find ways to communicate the good news of Jesus Christ. And as people respond to that, help them form their own churches with their own leaders and their own resources.
In the New Testament, church is not complicated. It's meant to fit in every culture. And how do you do that? Our goal is to present Christ in a way that these people can accept, and in total obedience to Christ and the Scripture, to bring Christ within their own context and to watch the power of Christ spread from village to village, because their church is self-sustaining within their own culture. It's able to reproduce its own leadership. It's able to interpret Scripture for the practical situations that people find themselves in. As missionaries, we are scaffolding for a new church, and our job is to help raise up a new church with its own leadership and its own expression within its own culture, and then to take the scaffolding away. We won't be permanent. What's permanent is God's work in this culture.
The training part of what we do involves apprenticing or mentoring, depending on how involved we get in what the other person is going to be doing.
An apprenticeship is probably the best way to have a hands-on approach to missions. In January of 2005, I came down for 3 weeks to meet Rob and see what this whole thing was all about. He's the kind of guy that wants you to be independent, and he wants you to ask the questions. There's a lot of reading in theology and doctrine, and there's also a great aspect of anthropological studies. But the only way to really get to know and understand somebody is to shake their hand, to eat their food, and to speak their language.
What excites us about discipling people here in southern Mexico is watching them take the stuff that we've entrusted to them and to be able to pass it on to others. Our vision for where we want to see this go is, first, that there would be more and more church planters, whether North American based or Spanish-speaking Latin based, and in the future, maybe even as soon as 10 to 15 years, to see hundreds of committed church leaders and missionaries working together.
The unreached people we work with, the Mixtec specifically, need your prayer and your love, your support, as they just begin to taste the changes that the gospel brings into their lives.